Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the history of metal in the Middle East. The region has a small but passionate underground metal scene. It's definitely still growing, and its identity is shaped by a lot of different cultural influences, whether it's expats that live in the Middle East bringing their sound to the genre in the region, or the use of traditional instruments in metal, or lyrics about what's going on in the region. Metal found its way to the region in the late 80s and early 90s with tape swapping, basically. Cassette tapes that were brought in from abroad. It introduced a whole new sound to the local audience here. And then in the 2000s, the real game changer, in my opinion, was the introduction of Dubai Desert Rock Festival in 2004, bringing massive international acts from the genre to play shows in the Middle East. And in my opinion, metal's journey to the Middle East wasn't just about the music, it was also about the culture that came with the genre. A now growing fan base that not only listened to the international bands from the tape era days, but also supported the local scene. Let's talk about some of those early bands that really built the scene here. Kaoteon from Lebanon. Kaoteon blends black with death metal and mixes it with their intense, politically charged, non-apologetic lyrics. They immediately stood out from a crowd when it came to bands that were releasing music in the early 2000s. Another band, and one of my favorite to point out, is Nervecell. Nervecell from the UAE mixed death metal and thrash metal and have become possibly one of the flagship bands of the Middle Eastern metal scene. With their EP Human Chaos and an album like Preaching Venom, they solidified themselves not only in the local metal scene but also on a global scale. Anybody that's ever researched the metal scene in the Middle East knows Acrassicauda. These guys had a documentary made about them, heavy metal in Baghdad.
We had a threat, like we're gonna get you one by one. And if we go together.
Yeah, metalheads forever.
The documentary showed that their drive for making this music, even in the face of war and all sorts of obstacles in their path, was second to none. Another one of those bands that really powered through was Blaakyum from Lebanon. Blaakyum combined thrash with groove, a little progressive. I like to call them progressive. The changes are insane. They definitely don't shy away from talking about politics in their lyrics or out of their music. And they've been both praised and attacked for it. But one of the unique things about Blaakyum is they use traditional instruments within their metal sound to give it that Middle Eastern touch. Scarab from Egypt is another one of those flagship bands. They mix death metal with the traditional Arabic scales. Combine that with their lyrics of life and death and spirituality and philosophical awakenings. Their album, Blinding the Masses, is definitely one of those albums that whenever you talk about the metal in the Middle East, it has to be added to it. I'll list off some honorable mentions here. Abhorred from the UAE is one of them. Oath to Vanquish from Lebanon is another. Bilocate from Jordan. Definitely early adopters of the genre and one of the flagships that inspired other people to start playing in that country. Right now, the Middle Eastern metal scene has come a long way, for sure, since the early days of not really understanding the genre. People were afraid of it. There was a lot of satanic and devil worshipping labels added to anybody that listened to the genre, let alone played it live. There have been cases where shows have been shut down, bands not allowed to play, people have been arrested and questioned in their involvement with satanic rituals because they played electric guitar and screamed into a microphone.
You know, in my country, I've been to jail because I listen to this music.
But today, with the internet, with social media, with everybody being able to access information and share their music, coupled with the incredible promoters that are putting on shows, bringing international bands, and allowing the community the chance to be able to not only perform with international bands, but also be able to put on a good show for the local scene. The local majority have been a little more accepting of metal in the Middle East. And as someone from the Middle East myself, I know how much time and dedication is needed to keep that genre alive, especially if you're making music or doing something like webzines or podcasts or promoting shows. To keep it alive takes a lot of effort because it is an uphill battle here. But it's the people and the passion that really make it worth it at the end of the day. So that's basically it. A little short glimpse into the bands that made the Middle Eastern metal scene what it is today. If I've missed any, let me know in the comments. If I've completely f***ed this up, let me know in the comments as well. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of that. I also stream on Twitch. If you're interested in joining live, asking questions, we're going to be doing podcasts at some point over there as well. And I'll catch you guys on the flippity flop.